well, this is why I love science fiction, because one thing I was talking about with in regards to Space Command, but it's true of Far Beyond the Stars as well, is if you get into conversations with the people in the real world, you immediately get polarization. You get left and right, and everyone starts getting into their own armed camps, basically. And there's no communication. Science fiction takes it out of the moment. And as a result, it allows people to have an open mind, whether they're on the right or the left. And it allows hearts to change. It allows people to come to a different conclusion. I mean, I think the fact TV shows you worlds that you don't have access to in the real world often. And not even in just science fiction, but the fact that people, came to approve of gay marriage or whatever, the fact that we have all sorts of people on television now that we didn't have when I was growing up in the 60s is terrific. And that doesn't mean we don't still have problems. We do. But science fiction has a great ability to shine a light into areas that regular stories don't, and they choose not to.
Touching on that, what you just said, today, in today's television and as well as movie industry, do you think we are still seeing what you just spoke of when it comes to science fiction? I'm a fan of Discovery, but you could also argue that are they not asking the questions and putting the philosophical debates and everything you just said into the viewing of the show, like we did on Far Beyond the Stars, in today's science fiction? Has today's science fiction turned into superpowers and bam, bam, bam? It's the new, Stallone movies of the current time. And are we missing the heart of everything you're speaking of?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of shows, like with Star Trek, it's now such a crown jewel and such a valuable commodity as a product that tends to lead executives away from wanting anything controversial to be done, because they don't want to. It's the goose that lays the golden egg. So what you tend to get is, like, they want it to be successful financially. Whether it's successful artistically is not nearly as important to these corporate powers. And so that's why Star Wars sometimes can go south. That's why Star Trek sometimes can go south. And also you have a writing staff, back on all the shows that I was on as a writer, producer, or as a story editor, we had a writing staff of 3 people, which meant that we could pursue, like when I was a producer on Sliders, we could pursue a point of view and carry it out and pay it off. With Star Trek Discovery, if you've got 20 writers as a writing staff, it's warfare. And
interesting.
So they might want to go in a certain direction, and another writer might disagree. And all of a sudden you're saying, well, what's the point of this story? And certainly that was true with the first season of Star Trek Discovery. The second season, it was a little more telling a story that went from A to B to C, but it tracked. But it was like, what is the point of this story exactly? It's time travel. It's,
and that supports what you're saying, Ciroc's criticism. While I feel that it's a fun ride and I've enjoyed the show, I agree with him in that especially as we're rewatching DS9, it's missing everything that you said. Science fiction was being written for before